Hey guys, Blaziken Blitz here, and welcome back to the IBF El Paso Entes. We're here against the LA Linoones for our Week 1 playoff matchup. Undefeated, we are the first seed, so we go against the second seed. And as you can see, we've got a new addition here. We've got Infernape. So our host is just like, okay, every playoff team they get one new free agent. I knew I wanted to swap Heracross for Infernape because Infernape's one of the best mons in the entire format. And I was wondering whether or not I wanted to swap it like right then or at a different time or whatever. But I decided to get it right away because it meant that my prepping wasn't as obvious. Um, if I still had Heracross, it was pretty obvious that I was going to end up bringing it, is basically what I'm saying here. And his team was kind of weak to Scarf Heracross, so he would have found every which way to try and deal with it, and would have made my team more predictable, it would have made his team more predictable, and it just wouldn't have been fun. So I decided to get Infernape, and I decided to bring it. Because why not? So, let us begin the game. I forgot to go over sets, whatever. So he leads off with Victini. I lead off with Starmie, because Starmie can pretty much hit whatever he has, because I've got pretty much neutral coverage. I predict him to be Scarf and go into Hydreigon as he U-turns. Yes, he U-turns. And I sit there and I'm just like, okay, I'm perfectly fine with that decision. He brings in Clefable, and I'm just like, oh yeah, well, it's Clefable, and I'm not gonna deal with that. So I believe I go out. Yeah, I go out into Mamoswine because I can pretty much hit anything hard with Mamoswine at that point, and giving it a proper switch in is always a good thing. And I believe I go for an EQ here because it's just the easy play. No, I Icicle Crash, predicting the Latias switch in, right. Wait, what? Whatever. Whatever. So I Icicle Crash, and then I'm just like, hey, Freeze Dry. I put Freeze Dry on this for Gastrodon, but it still does a decent amount to Suicune, and I'm just like, hey, let's do that. And it didn't do nearly as much as I thought it would. So I knew that he had special attack investment of some kind. So I believe here I bring in Metagross because I'm just like, okay, I brought the Home Claws lure again. At this point, I'm pretty safe to set up a Home Claws and do what I want. So I believe that is exactly what I do. No, I Earthquake. I Earthquake predicting the teeny switch in. That's right, because that was awesome. And then after Teeny comes in, I predicted to just like U-turn or V-create. I predicted to do something that's going to threaten Metagross out that Infernape can take. And so Ape just kind of comes in and he just kills Victini. And so we're at 5-5 with Ape out and a free switch into either Coon or Latias, and he decides to bring in Coon, and I'm just like, okay, well, I can sack this thing, get off a Grass Knot, and I believe he rests. Yes, he rests. So Ape is just sitting there just like, I wish I was able to sack this off because that would have been so great. And now I have to swap into a Mega Gross here so that I can try to break this thing because Suicune otherwise just puts a real big strain on my team. And so now I believe I Home Claws. Or I T-Punch. Whatever. I guess because I knew that he was specially defensive of some kind, I needed to test the waters to make sure that he wasn't, that he'd be able to take 2 Thunder Punches, and I found out that he did. So now I go for the Hone Claws because I know he's going to either Scald or Rest here. And at this point, I believe I just Thunder Punch, hoping that it would kill for some reason, and it didn't. So that was wonderful. And I just get scalded again. I'm at 18%. I could try to predict a switch into something. I I just kind of kill this thing. I use Earthquake because it's the easiest move to make. But I know that I'm gonna be switching Mega Gross out. Yeah, I'm gonna be switching it out no matter who comes in because I don't want it to be revenged by a Scarfer. So I bring in Ape just kind of to see what Heliolisk does, and it swaps. And I'm just like, well, that was uneventful. And it goes into Latias, and I proceed to know that Ape can do nothing, and I just want it to like die now because it's preventing me from getting a good swap in. So there goes the stored power, and Infernape dies. So it's 4-4. And I'm sitting here with this Latias, and I'm just like, okay. I could go for Dust Noir, and I could Toxic this thing, and hopefully it doesn't have sub. And it subs. And I just like, why? So I'm just like, okay, I prep for this. My Dust Noir has enough to be able to break subs, and it doesn't break the sub. And I'm just like, what is going on here? What is prep? How does prep work? Why isn't it working? And so my Shadow Sneaks are now taking 2 to break the subs. And this is a problem because on the calc, we calced it afterwards. My Shadow Sneaks are supposed to do anywhere from 23 to 28%. That Shadow Sneak that I did earlier hit 23%. And I'll tell you what, this happens for a little bit. And not once do I break the sub with just one regular Shadow Sneak, when I had about a 50% chance to do so. So he goes for the stored power here. I haze, because I'm just like, I don't want your Calm Minds here. If anything else, I just don't want you to have Calm Minds up. And now we proceed to go back into the Charade. There's the 28% that I was hoping for when he had subs, and it just doesn't work. That's just how it is. It just doesn't work. And at this point, I kind of know that sitting here against Latias, I can't really do much. Like, if this Latias has like any neutral move against everything, I'm kind of screwed here. So I know that the Heliolisk is coming at some point, but I don't want to. But I have like no other option but to try and weaken this Latias. And then in comes the Heliolisk, and I'm just like, yeah, I need to sack this thing. So I was hoping Dusknoir could like live maybe and take an Earthquake, but it's Life Orb Heliolisk, and I'm just like, oh, that's bad. So I bring in Dry, and I'm just like, okay, he's probably gonna switch in Clef, and he doesn't, and that is a sad day for my Hydreigon, to put it bluntly. And with that, that kind of pretty much just seals the game off, because he has really good, really good speedy threats here, and Metagross can't do everything at once. So Lucario comes in here, and this is the Mon that he decided to Scarf, and he just proceeds to Scarf Crunch, and there goes Metagross, and shortly Starmie comes in, and it just kind of dies to a Scarf Crunch. And, well, it lives. Do I actually get to kill Luke? Yeah, I get to kill Luke at least. But I only have one Life Orb, one Life Orb attack left. I can recover, but it won't get me very much when he still has Clef and, Latias. So, Starmie's just sitting here kind of waiting to die, really. So I'm just like, let's just put it out of its misery. Or not. Or not. Okay, there's a Thunder Wave. That, yeah. I'm just like, yeah, no point at this point. All I'd be doing is just spamming Recover. And I get Parahacks when I wanted to do my Analytic Hydro Pump to see at least how much it would do. And there it goes. So, yeah. We go 8-0 in the playoffs, and then lose in the first round. It happens. It happens. You know, and that's why next time we're gonna come back strong. We in the El Pasoenses are going to find a way not to choke in the playoffs. It'll happen. Believe me, it will happen. Don't don't. It'll happen. It'll happen. Um, Spoilers for how the rest of the season went. MMS ended up winning the championship, so I like to think that I'm the second best battler. But we'll have to see. I'll be doing the third place match shortly, so we'll see where it goes from there. And we'll be back. See you guys next time.